Welcome back, Saber fans. Tony here from RoninSabers, and today another install review for you. If you're new to the channel, I do install, repair, and review these sabers, so please like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a website, RoninSabers.com, where you can find my finished products and sound fonts. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link in the description below. So here we have a very, very nice saber. This is a SPSabers High Ground. This is their Batch 2 version, or this is the Elite version, I should say, as well. Now, this lightsaber came with different version of necks, very, very cool stuff. I ended up designing the chassis for this saber. Now with the Batch 2, the threading on the saber is actually backwards, so you have to kind of unthread to thread it on, and then basically like righty-tighty to take it off, which is kind of really weird and backwards, but it's kind of interesting, makes it unique. So I've designed the chassis for this saber itself. I will have the normal version of it available on my Etsy shop to print for yourself. This one's a bit unique because this one has the same base kind of design as my normal standard chassis with the removable battery, but the customer here asked for a bigger battery. He plans to have a quad star blade and wanted a bigger battery for cons and whatnot, and so I designed a chassis to accommodate for that. Now this will hold a 21700 lithium battery, very, very big, very, very large, and so I ended troubleshooting and trying to design a chassis that wasn't too thin in the grenade section so it wouldn't just break, and so I came out with this. And so you have a Shtok connector V3 in there, you have a power or battery terminals, positive and negative, you have the Proffieboard that's glued in. This is Proffie 2.2 running 6.7. You have USB and SD card access. You have the buttons here, power and aux. You have two holes here that serve as retention screws for the chassis itself. You'll use this kind of hexagon type thing to basically hold the chassis in place. Here you have plungers that make contact with the buttons themselves on the chassis, and then of course you have a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost dark speaker, which is one of the loudest available. Now, one thing to note about this saber in particular is it doesn't have venting like normal sabers. It has this little lip here, or a washer between the pommel cap and the pommel itself, which doesn't really make a lot of resonance or the saber very, very loud. An alternative solution for this would be to take off the pommel cap and just have the kind of vented, you can kind of see those triangles in there, is just to have that section and take off this pommel cap entirely. And so it won't be terribly loud in the video. It will be really loud. I cranked the Smuggler's Outpost speaker as loud as I could without, causing damage. You do have a Saber Armory TCSS blade hilt side or hilt side connector in there, and then a Shtok V3 connector in there with a flat PCB connector. So a lot of blade depth in here, about 0.7 of an inch, and so very, very nice. So let me boot up the saber real quick.
Hello there.
This saber has about 12 fonts. The saber has about 12 fonts, including the party blade. And so you want to line up the chassis. I kind of made it easy for you. The speaker terminal here should line up with the buttons, and then you should press on it a bit. You'll find the hole in with the retention screw. Make sure it's making contact with the pins when you screw it in, or else it will not make connection. There you go. And then for this, again, it always messes me up, but it's backwards threading here. And then you're good to go. Make sure your button, power, and aux are working, and you're good to go. So without further ado, let's show you off the fonts. So here you have a 32-inch blade on it. The saber will come with a 32-inch blade. Now, with the retention screws and stuff, the blade or the blade holder is about a tad bit more than 1 inch, and so I do recommend using both screws and a thicker blade. The 32-inch blade I provide with the saber will be very, very well equipped for the saber. And so first up, we have the Bold One by K-Sith. Now, instead of what I usually do is tell the story amongst multiple fonts, the customer wanted me to put it on one font and have multiple tracks and stuff telling the story on one font, because Proffie now has the track player. So you have your power and aux, and so just tap turn on. Smooth swing. Now click aux for blasters. Hold power for 2 seconds for force effects.
Hello there.
Or quotes.
Hello there.
And then for multi-blast, you want to hold aux for 2 seconds and let go. And you can just swing your saber for blasters. Now this saber does have a steel neck, and it's very, very sturdy, and so this saber can take it. Although I wouldn't, heavily do it because this is such a beautiful hilt. I wouldn't, want to dink it up. But yeah, to get out of it, tap once more. The guns will overheat. This does have gesture features, twist on and twist off. well as stab on, I believe. Yeah. And so, yeah. For the track player, you want to hold the power button for 2 seconds and let go while the saber is horizontal or parallel with the ground. Oh, if I did that correctly. There we go. Now you have Battle Over Coruscant as the beginning track, and it goes kind of through the story. Anakin's betrayal. Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Battle of the Heroes. You have General Grievous and Obi-Wan's fight. Grievous's theme on there as well. And then the funeral theme. Click power to confirm. Now, this saber will have a coded track. Most of these fonts will just have one single track coded to them. And so you can just hold power while the saber's up. And then it'll have whatever the coded track is. For this one, I just did Battle of the Heroes. Or Battle of Coruscant, my bad. So, yeah. Next up.
I will do what I must.
This is part of Kyberphonics, the rematch bundle. This is Obi-Wan's font, or Ben. It's just a standard blue, just like previously. Now, lightning block, you want to hold power, tap Ox, which is also responsive to the blade. For lockup itself, just hold and clash. Also responsive to the angle of the blade. For color changing, it's the opposite of lightning block, so hold Ox, tap power. And then you just rotate your saber using the color wheel. Now, if you found a color that you liked and you want to fine-tune the color, you can hold power and then let go, and it'll confirm it. If you want to go back to the previous color, you just hit Ox. Tons of quotes on this one as well.
I promise. The only protection he needs now, Owen, is you and Brew.
Don't forget about Brew.
Leia, please. I promise. You've chosen not to. She has already done that. Master Qui-Gon.
This also has the track player from the Kenobi series, several tracks from the TV show. My favorite. Yeah. Next up.
Ben Kenobi?
This is OB4 by Kyberphonic. This is the V2 version. This is also the Cantina version. It's got a nice unstable build up here. Got a white swing, which is very, very nice. Very reminiscent to the original trilogy. Also quotes on this as well.
Well, of course I know him. He's me. He feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
Move along.
Move on. Move on.
This does have the Force theme on there as well, which is the coded track to the saber. So yeah. Next up. This is the rematch bundle as well. This is the Darth version, or Darth font.
The Grand Inquisitor means nothing. Kenobi is all that matters now. Is that understand what you made me? Where is he?
This also has a track player on it. Very, very nice. Anyway, next up.
Commander Skywalker, do you copy?
This is ESB Graflex V2 by Kyberphonic. This is Luke's font during Empire Strikes Back. It has the same blade style as the Obi-Wan A New Hope, because it's an original trilogy blue. It says Luke versus Vader as the track.
He told me enough. He told me you. It's not true. That's impossible.
Yeah, very nice. Very fun. Next up.
I am a Jedi. like my father before me.
Very fitting on an Obi-Wan thin neck. This is Return V2 by Kyberphonic, a Luke Skywalker sound font from Return of the Jedi. Solid green for this one. Tons of quotes on this as well.
The last mistake you'll ever make.
I must speak with Jabba.
This has the barge scene as the track. It's very nice with gesture features. Yeah. Next up.
The dark saber. It belongs to you.
This is Dark V3 by Kyberphonic. This is the Dark Sword from The Mandalorian Season 2. We got a FET 263's blade style here. We'll just completely run up the blade. A few quotes on this as well.
The dark saber doesn't have power. The story does. In order for her to wield the dark saber again, she would need to defeat you in combat.
This has the not Dark Sword, Mandalorian theme on there at the track. Next up. This is Unstable V2 by Kyberphonic. This is a Kylo Ren inspired sound font. Unstable build-up. Force effects. Kylo's theme as the track. You'll probably see it a lot better here. Yeah. Next up. This is also part of the Rematch bundle by Kyberphonic. This is the Reva inspired font. Very aggressive, very nice. It reminds me of Darth Maul's hum, but a bit more aggressive.
They were the only family I knew.
Several quotes.
And he slaughtered them. You have no idea what I've done alone.
Next up.
Ahsoka Tano! Bo-Katan sent me.
This is Sorcerer by Kyberphonic. This is an Ahsoka inspired sound font from The Mandalorian. Solid white blade for this one. Very nice.
Not even your laser swords would be able to protect you from all that firepower. Alright, kid. Lift the stone. Grogu.
Yes, that's his name.
Has the Mando Jedi track from the Season 2. Tons of quotes and stuff. Very fun. Next up. This is very suiting for the customer. He actually bought a Proton Pack from Hasbro, which is really, really cool, and he wanted this on there. This is Proton Pack by Kyberphonic. This is a Ghostbusters inspired font. Now, the cool thing about this blade style is that if you twist, it'll change the intensity of the blade, which is really quite nice. I don't know how well you can see that. So you twist, it'll change the size of the little colors. Green blasters. Force effects. Of course, it'll run up the blade as soon as the energy's done. And then, of course, this has the Ghostbusters theme on there. By Ray Parker Jr. But yeah, next up.
You want me to put the hammer down?
This is always so much fun. This is Thunder God by Kyberphonic. This is a Thor-inspired font. So, of course, you have Led Zeppelin on there. Immigrant Song. Oh, the track player on there as well, if you want some Avengers stuff. But we want Immigrant Song. Now, when you do it, you'll summon the lightning, and it'll ignite the blade, and you got the Thunderstorm blade. It's quite nice. But yeah. And when you're done with it, the energy goes back to the sky. Next up, this is Fire by Kyberphonic. This is, well, fire. And so with this one, as you tilt the blade down, the fire wants to come back up, because heat naturally wants to rise, which is kind of a cool little Proffie feature. This has the Game of Thrones track on there. Kind of quiet. And much like the Ghostbusters one and Thor, once you're done, it'll go up. So yeah, next up.
Prepare a boarding party.
And last but not least, you have your passive battery monitor and, of course, the Party Blade. So that concludes the install for the SPSabers High Ground. I hope the customer enjoys it. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.